Hello, it's Vince, and it has been 15 days since I recorded the last video titled Mindset is Everything. Um, have not really brought myself to want to make another video, even though the response on the video has been pretty good. I feel like I did a good job with that video, but I've been thinking of a lot of topics, and I can't really find anything that I deem good enough without even giving it a try. So I think that I'm going to just take one of ideas that I had and expand upon it and just kind of go for it. And if this video sucks, then it sucks, but whatever. Just want to get YouTube content out there. I'm not sure what this gameplay is. There's a chance it might be me playing with a good friend of mine, and so we get against really high ranked players, but he's not as high ranked as me. I don't know. I'm not really sure what gameplay I'm putting this over yet. I'm just kind of sitting here talking. So, going into my notes app here, this note, I guess, the idea, what I wrote down for it, is believe in people. And then in quotes, I said, why does my teammate suck? ? So, originally when I had ideas about these videos, I was going to make them real life related / Rocket League related. So this one's going to be similar. I'm not sure I want to do that in the future. I want to just talk about random things. I think that would be really enjoyable to me, as well as Rocket League things. Of course, I love Rocket League, but I love talking about other things as well. So, I'm just going to keep doing what I want. And so, where does this come from? What thought process was I having when I said, believe in people, why does my teammates suck? Well, recently, I've been thinking a lot about when people play Rocket League, right? Everybody always says, my teammates suck, my teammates this, that, the other thing. And something I've found when I've coached some people, definitely not everybody, but they almost position themselves in a way that they don't expect their teammate to do anything, and if their teammate does something good, it almost catches them off guard. So this originates, I suppose, from something like that, as well as I think it's a good theory in life. I think that if you walk into a room and you assume that every single person in that room is bad, or they have something wrong with them, or in a negative kind of way with their personality or of who they are as a person, then I think that won't take you anywhere in life. I think that similar to, I suppose, the first video I made, mindset is everything when it comes to handling any situation. So I guess a little bit of a piggyback off of that would be believing in people. I think that you can learn something from every single person you meet. And I'm not the first person to say this, so I'm not going to claim that it's mine. But I truly believe that, and especially nowadays, I've been trying to figure out what that thing is. I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes to things like that. If you happen to talk to somebody, there's conversations you can have that'll change your life. And just learning things about people is really, really important. Now, as sappy and silly as that got, I suppose, and serious as it got, we'll bring that back a little bit and kind of just talk about believing in people. So, like I said before, there's a room, you go in it, and if the first thing about each person you talk to is you try and find something negative about them, then you probably won't get too far, probably not have too many good conversations. You're just trying to figure them out rather than learn from them. Not going to be a good idea. Similar to as if you're playing Rocket League and your teammate is bringing the ball into the opponent's corner and you're sitting right behind him in the left middle boost instead of being in the middle of the field for whatever pass happens, and then your teammate hits the ball right to the middle for you to score, and where are you? Just waiting for him to mess up and replace him. And then what does he do? He rotates back, and then you go for your touch, and you're essentially just making it a 1-on-2 followed by a 1-on-2. And that is not going to work out for you or your team in twos or probably threes. So what kind of sums this up, I guess, is the term the benefit of the doubt. I looked it up exactly just to see if I could get a Webster's definition from it. And it says here, the state of accepting something someone has as honest or deserving of trust, even though there are doubts. So pretty much you're accepting somebody or something as what it is, even though you might have an inkling of doubt. And in most cases, giving people the benefit of the doubt is pretty much what I'm talking about. Let's say you give your teammate the benefit of the doubt, and he does get that pass mental, then you're there to score it. Or let's say you give that person on the street or wherever the benefit of the doubt and assume they're a good person, or assume they're somebody you'd like to talk to or learn from, then you'll probably learn a lot of things. I personally used to, every single person I would go up to and meet and talk to, my first instinct would always be to try to find something I don't like about them, or something that I think they're hiding, or just like the worst trait about them. And then I'd always, figure that out and then instantly not like the person as much. I was a pretty big pessimist at the time, I'd say. I didn't really have a great outlook on life. I definitely regretted any social situation I got into, and I tried to avoid them at all costs, even to like go at great lengths to not talk to people or not have a conversation with somebody, which I've now found is probably not a great thing, especially nowadays, that I do give people the benefit of the doubt nowadays, and I try and just sometimes just keep a smile on sometimes, I read somewhere that if you just force yourself to smile, you'll actually have a better time doing whatever you're doing. So I definitely want at least one person to give that a try. I think it's really interesting that like if you just force yourself to smile, then you'll actually feel a little bit better, and it actually does work. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what much else to say on this. I definitely feel like that's kind of the way I live my life nowadays. Most situations I get into, it's definitely really difficult. But now I think that when you talk to people, it's really important to just really pay attention to what they have to say. I read about this a lot, actually, in a book by a psychologist that I like. I can't recall the name of it. But I really, really think that this is definitely the case. And I think that everybody should go out and try at least a couple of things that I'm preaching about here. And, you force yourself to go into these situations, and you'll almost feel better about it afterwards. I don't really know how quite to explain it other than that. I think that in life, the most important thing is not the end and not the journey, but it's that first step. Because as important as the other things are, nothing would happen if you didn't put yourself out there and make decisions and choices that are based on what you want, and actually taking that first step to put yourself out there. Because, I mean, hey, like, do you think the Mona Lisa was the first draft, right? Like, probably not. And, although this is quite literally the first draft of this, YouTube video series, and I'm stumbling over myself so much, but it's all right. Like, I'm putting myself out here, and I'm happy about it. And I know that whatever I go do next, then I know that, like, I put what I could into what I wanted to do. And I really enjoy doing things like this, just talking to the microphone. Like, I'm just sitting here looking around at my room, at the walls, at the ceiling fan. It's a really good experience for me. It's almost like therapy in a way, because I actually read that like a good therapist is somebody that knows how to listen rather than knows how to talk. You can say anything in the world to somebody, but it's not really going to change how they feel about themselves. They kind of have to express themselves in some way. And, I don't know if you guys have figured it out, but there's a good friend of mine, Steve. I don't know if you guys know him, but he kind of taught me that if you have an important day or thing coming up, and you have to think about like really in depth how something's gonna go, like you're planning or something, it's always a good idea to talk to somebody about it or just say it out loud, because then you hear it and you actually listen to it and engulf it in your mind. Like let's say you're throwing a party or something, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, well, what do I need for the party? You think of that in your head. It's a lot harder to think of each thing and actually talk about it and write it down. But if you're like, all right, I need this or that, it kind of fuels more ideas. And the more you talk, the more you listen to yourself and the more you think about it. It's really weird, but it's actually pretty true. So I think that this whole this whole commentary thing, whether it is good for views or just good for myself, I think I really want to continue doing it. And I guess I segued kind of perfectly into the end of this video here. We're almost at about 11 minutes. I think that if you watched through this video, I really appreciate you. Our video last time got like 100 likes, 100 views, and 18 likes actually. Wow. All right, yeah, and 6 comments. So if we got a little bit more content related comments, that'd be cool. I'd appreciate that, just so I can respond to them well. If not, I totally understand. And hey, like I'd enjoy if you just honestly told me what you thought of this video. So I urge you very much so to just write a comment, whatever it is. And I mean, even if that isn't the case, even if you do not want to make a public comment, I would enjoy just a Discord DM or something like that. You can join my Discord, discord.gg/Vince, and then DM me directly from there. But I want every single person to just make that effort. You don't have to, obviously, but that would be cool if each person could like give me feedback on what they thought on the video, because I actually don't do a lot of thinking into this. Like I kind of have ideas that I think up, and then I just ramble on the spot, and I think it's really useful. It's a really useful skill to do, is just to ramble on and on, especially since like I stream and things like that. Like I always want to be able to hold people's interest. So for as long as I can, I'm going to keep doing this, and I enjoyed myself doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and whatever wonderful gameplay I seem to put over this video, I hope you enjoyed that as well. I am going to now go golfing, which is kind of my happy place. So I'm going to enjoy that. I love you all. Have a wonderful day.